What up, everybody? It's Sunday. Time to matter. What's the matter? Make America think again. I hope everybody's having a great weekend. I think everybody that's probably following us probably just watched the CPAC and got to see Trump speak. We'll be going on Primetime Patriots later to talk a little bit about that. I just want to cover some stuff that was bugging the hell out of me this weekend. And again, it's getting harder for me to be complacent and soft in my approach to what's going on in this country, because I think honestly the biggest issue is the word hypocrisy. It's the hypocrisy that goes on across the board. And not only do I think it's the biggest issue, it's the biggest thing that can make us come together. If people actually look at it long enough, if we completely keep force feeding it to everyone to really see. And again, I'm not trying, as we always say, we're not trying to turn people into Democrat or Republicans. We're not trying to take Democrats and tell them that they're wrong. We're trying to get people to have a conversation in the middle, which is something we have not been able to have from a sensible level in a long time. So what's going on, everybody? I see seeing everybody jump in now. I believe in about an hour we'll be going on Primetime Patriots to talk about the Trump speech. What I will say is I guarantee you out of that hour and 45 minutes that he talked, he needs to be a filibuster. He needs to be in the Senate, whatever. The one thing that the media is going to take, the one thing that they're going to take was him talking about the election and the F word, FRA word, all that stuff. That's the one thing that they're going to take, even though there was a myriad of actual real topics that he brought up. And personally, I miss the previous president for what he stands for in the country, the sense that he brings to it, and the fact that he has empathy. If anybody that actually is on the other side wants to listen to the whole speech, they'll realize that he's not racist. He has empathy. He doesn't want criminals in this country. Anyways, I'm going to, by far, Casey, one of the best talks he's ever done. I'm going to really quick talk. I want to start about Cuomo, because Cuomo's situation is hypocrisy at its finest. Like, I just want to put myself in the media's shoes. I want people to think about what it would be like for them right now if this was Trump. What would they be doing if Trump had two active sexual harassment charges, and what happened with COVID in New York? Here's the deal, guys. Okay, no, really. Here's the deal. You've got a man that didn't hide numbers for his own sake. You've got a man that hid numbers in order to make it's hard to even he murdered people. I'm sorry. Like, it's not like he was hiding numbers for publicity. He hid numbers in the beginning to show that he was doing better than he was. And the way that he hid numbers was by shuffling old people to shuffling COVID patients to where old people were, and then having old people stay in certain locations when he actually had the USS Comfort available at his disposal. He did not want to use Trump's help because it would look bad politically for him. And instead, he killed thousands and thousands and thousands of elderly people. That's murder. And then had the audacity and the smug arrogance to write a book. He literally wrote a book while he was killing people. This is not, people say Trump downplayed it. He did. I had read that he downplayed it for a reason before we found out that he downplayed it. You downplay it to keep mass hysteria down. Cuomo was the governor. He had the right to do things, and he chose something that ended up costing people their lives, and willingly knew what he did. Flat out, the man should not be just taken out of office. He should be tried for murder. Not maybe in the first degree, maybe manslaughter, whatever, mass. I don't know. That is the most Hitler thing. People always compare Trump to Hitler. What he did was the most Hitler deed that has been done in the U.S. government in history. Period. The other thing I want to bring up is what is happening in this country, again, is one of those things that it's like, if somebody on the other side of my opinions were to have this conversation with me and be willing to have it, let's talk about what's going on in Boston schools. In Boston schools, they are actually in one school district, and it might even be bigger. It might be the whole area. It might be bigger than just the district. They're taking away the challenge classes or advanced classes because the predominance of them are white or Asian students. So I get it. They probably come from different areas, different socioeconomic backgrounds, but part of what makes our country great, what makes the future of us great, is by fostering intelligent minds. I went to a public school. I went to a very good public school. We had 24 national merit scholars in my graduating class. We were incredibly advanced. We also had desegregation. We had the city kids that came in to the county schools. Now, looking back, I actually think the desegregation was a bad idea, and I can give a bunch of reasons that are not racist for that. I think that the funding, the amount of time of transportation of the kids going to school every day, took away from their education, took away from their learning, took away from their interest, and at the same time, having that support close to home is a big deal. Totally different subject for a totally different day. But we're going to talk about the fact that the level of education is just different, unfortunately, with that desegregation program. Like, for the most part, you very rarely saw the city kids in any of the advanced classes. Now, if you actually were to put higher end programs in inner city classes and inner city schools, it might change things because you've got more support close to home, etc. Now, we could also go into a whole other bowl of worms with fatherless homes and the issues that are going on there, and the willingness to actually work on education inside the home. That's very difficult. Ultimately, though, ending advanced programs is everything that is not American with the new administration. Ending that concept, and no, Biden didn't go, let's pull those homes. I want to be very clear. But this current mentality that we have in the United States of America, that everything has to be an equal playing field, will therefore make the playing field lower across the board. These are people that are bright minds. These are people that are going to change the world. So are the people that are not in the advanced placement classes. They just have to play from behind. Is it fair? No. Is it still an opportunity more than you get in most countries across the world? Yes. Yes. So how about we invest more to bring the bottom education up, instead of being politically correct and going, too many white and Asian people, let's go ahead and cut it out. It's absolute insanity. And it shows the level of give a shit for the American dream in this country, which is to excel and become better than you were before. Yeah, exactly, Rhonda. Let's punish smarter kids and smart and families that are pushing their children and getting them to apply. How about spend some counseling dollars in the schools and get the lower income families, or the African American families, people of color, Latino families, whatever, Hispanic families, how about we help them fill out the registration forms? That was one of the biggest deals. That would be amazing. So instead of let's going the extra mile, let's go ahead and just end the ability for people to excel. That makes a ton of sense. Absolutely mind-boggling. Last thing I want to rant about real fast is the whole thing with taking away genders. Trump kept talking about keeping women's sports equal and fair, and I couldn't agree more. But like, at the same time, you look at yourself like, are we really talking about sports? Let's talk about humanity. And I'm going to be honest, I feel as though there's a disconnect in communication. Most of my conservative friends and the conservatives on this page don't care what somebody's sexual orientation is. Don't care if they're transgender. Don't care if they're he, she, what their pronouns are. They will say 100% you do what you want to do. It's when it encroaches in things that make zero sense. So we have this era right now where the same people that are talking about taking away genders are also celebrating the first ever female VP. Did you hear what I said? We're the same people that want to take away gender norms are celebrating the first female VP. So clearly, when they're saying there isn't the choice, it's so backwards. I feel like we are in absolute bizarro world. And then you take that and they say, not only that, it's the first female person of color to be in office. So it really doesn't matter what the actions were of this person of color, because person of color or not, she is a modern day, and I'm going to say something that's probably a little bit hairy, but the modern day slave trader from the original beginning of the slave trade. You had white slave traders and you had black slave traders. She made her name as a district attorney by burying black people in her own community. She legitimately was a proponent in action of mass incarceration. So you're celebrating while a group is currently trying to take away gender norms, Mr. Potato Head, Mrs. Potato, whatever the hell, taking away that, and at the same time saying you should be looking in the mirror if you're a young girl right now and be proud and be honored that this is the person that you'd be following in the footsteps of. You mean the person that literally pushed mass incarceration in her own communities against her own people, for the most part, if you say that she's fully a black person, which she kind of is, whatever. Anyways, just depends what election she's in, what her race is. So you're literally telling me that this person of color who literally treated her people, her actual people from her race, horribly, is somebody you want to look up to. This is what we've come to. I don't understand. That's my rant for the day. We're going to be talking about Trump's speech later, which again, I already know exactly what's going to come out of the media of what he said. I think CNN already said something about like typical same old lies, same old story. By the way, I want really interesting. Let's see. Hold on. Is it? Oh, look at Woody. What was I gonna say? Oh, by the way, make sure you check out PTP's. They're putting up a whole bunch of Trump 2024 stuff, so check that out. What was I gonna say? Son of a biscuit. I don't remember. But anyways, I thought he did phenomenal in his speech. Oh, CNN was already doing the same old lies, same old whatever. Oh, a couple people actually commented on a post the other day we were talking about, sending in a photo of their registration, showing that they were no longer registered to vote and they were Trump voters. Again, we're not imagining these things, people. We're not imagining, and I'm not trying to say that the election was stolen. I don't believe that. I believe that we have a right to look at things in a different way, and for people to continuously tell us that it was just your average election, then that means that our election system has been broken for way too damn long. If this happens every election, where registrations are lost in high numbers, where all of a sudden ballots are found in random areas, then we could talk. Then we could say there's been an issue for a long time. But why wouldn't we want to fix it? Even Woody's bored. All right, guys, be the change you wish to see in the world. Jeanette, Jeep Life, I'll give you the Jeep wave. I appreciate you guys. And remember, this isn't about me being angry and ranting. This isn't about, I am ranting. This isn't about me trying to create hate for the other side, because I've had a long weekend talking about this. And it's not about that. It's about how to have conversation. And if you can get some of these points across and wait for the answer and say it in kindness, you're forcing the people that feel differently than us to actually start looking into their reasons. And that's all I'm asking for, is to look into, just have these conversations. Ask them to have a conversation. And when you do it, don't get angry. I'm a little angry. I get it. But make America think again. That's right, Rose. That's all I got to say for you guys. Have a great rest of your weekend. I will see you all on Primetime Patriots. I'm going to jump on with them to talk about our main man, Donnie Baseball. Take it easy, y'all. Suni, yes, she had the wrong time. It's all good. We're going to be doing that in an hour. Peace. You know what? I can't do it. It's been too long. Unite, don't fight. Be a street light. So, because only you could be the change you wish to see in the world. And when you get too stressed out, remember to pray, America. Because without God, this is what starts to happen.